Breaking news, Columbia Green Federal Credit Union just saved our member $105 a month on their car payment.
That's no surprise. CGFCU helps our members save thousands.
Wait, thousands?
Yep, we have fantastic rates and flexible terms.
We save our members by refinancing autos, boats, campers, and even credit cards.
Apply today, see how much you can save.
All right, welcome back to Hudson Valley 360's The Press Box, presented by Columbia Green Federal Credit Union. This week we have Greenville coach Dane Carpenter on the line.
Dane, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, doing great. But, well, first of all, we just want to start with you. Tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been at Greenville, where you've been before that, and what actually led you to Greenville.
Okay. This is my second year coaching varsity basketball at Greenville. I've been at the district for 4 years now as a school psychologist, and prior to that, I was an administrator in the Schenectady City School District and really wanted to get back into coaching and working with students again. So when the opening came up at Greenville, it just seemed like a natural fit for me.
Sure. Now, are you living in the Greenville area now?
No, I actually live in Niskayuna.
Okay, so you make the commute.
Drive.
Yeah, every day. But that's dedication, you know?
Yeah, yep.
For sure. Well, a little bit about the team now. I know you guys have played 4 games already. You started out in the Middleburg tournament, splitting a couple of games there, and then splitting a couple of games in the Patroon. First of all, let's talk about that Middleburg tournament. I know you opened up with a win against Bishop Gibbons, a very good Bishop Gibbons team, and then fell in the championship game to the host school, Middleburg. Take us through that tournament, if you would, first starting with that Bishop Gibbons game.
Yeah, against Bishop Gibbons, first game out, we have some younger players on the team. We've got a couple freshmen and sophomore that are playing significant minutes. So it's kind of getting a feel for what the substitution pattern is going to be like and that sort of thing. But the guys kind of came out strong against Bishop Gibbons, and we were able to get the win. And then the following night against Middleburg was kind of a back and forth game, high scoring, and then we just kind of fell apart down the stretch. The last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. I think it was like a 2-point game, and they went on a run, and we just didn't recover from it.
I know Middleburg has the kid Peyton Olson, had 60 points in that season opening win in the first game of the tournament, I believe against Stamford. But you actually held him, I guess you would say, to 34 points. So you got to feel good about that, I guess.
Yeah, and actually Milton Edmonds guarded him a lot of the time, and early on in the game, Milton really kept him in check, and then when Milton got into some foul trouble was when Peyton started to get some easier buckets than he was getting when Milton was guarding him.
Now, then you go on to the Patroon Conference. You opened up with a victory over Carroll Durham, and then lost in a wild one to CA. Take us through those 2 games, if you would.
Yeah, again, still early in the season. We're trying to we replaced 7 seniors from last year's team, and so I've got a lot of younger players that that are kind of trying to figure out varsity basketball. And so against Cairo, we came out pretty strong against them. Really, in the third quarter, we went on a huge run to kind of blow that game open. We're capable of scoring in bunches pretty quickly. For example, I think we went on a 30-3 run in over about 4 minutes against them, and that kind of propelled us. And then against Cooksaki, it was kind of back and forth. They would go on a run, we would go on a run, and obviously by the score, neither team played great defense. But the pace was, it was kind of the pace that we want to play at, really fast. But again, defensively, we just had too many breakdowns.
Absolutely. Now, you have one of the top players in the league, without question, in Cole Ackerman. Many people felt he was a strong contender last year for Patroon MVP. Definitely a top contender this year. I have him for 119 points, I believe, in the first 4 games. And just as important, he's closing in on 1,000 points for his career. Tell us about Cole and what he means to the program and how he's such a hard worker. I know you've talked about him in the past and mentioned the fact that he just gets after it in the off-season and never quits.
Yeah, and this is his 4th year on varsity, and I think every year he's been on varsity, he's been the best player on the team, even as a freshman, which is pretty tough to do.
For sure.
And that's because he works on his game so hard. He plays in a lot of AAU teams, and over the summer, he comes to every single one of our open gyms and all of our summer league games over at Hudson Valley. And he's always a kid that, we'll end practice at 6:30, and he'll stay around and he'll shoot until I kick him out of the gym. He's just kind of that worker that, just wants putting up shots. And right now he's 34 points away from 1,000. And he would be the second player in the history of Greenville basketball to reach that mark. And hopefully he'll break the school record, which is 1,035, probably next week.
Right. I was going to say it's a pretty good sure bet that he will, in fact, break that record. But, that should be coming up soon as well. But tell us about the rest of the team. Some of the holdovers, some of the key newcomers you have that have been progressing and playing a lot in the early going, and your style of play as well. What you like to do as a team, and how you like to play defense. What you prefer.
Okay. So along with Cole, I've got 3 other seniors that are returning. Milton Edmonds, he's had to adjust this year. He was like a small forward last year, but since we have no size, he's had to shift to like a power forward this year. So he's 5'10", but ultra athletic. He had a block the other night against Johnny Ecker of Cooksaki. Was going up for a dunk, and Milton came out of nowhere and kind of met him at the rim and blocked it, which you don't normally see too much in the patroon, that type of athleticism.
And plus, Johnny's got some size on him too, a couple inches on.
Yeah. So that's the type of player Milton is. So he's adjusted, going from small forward to power forward.
Well.
Sounds like we lost him there.
Sounds like we lost Coach. I was going to say, was there something
am
I
I
said?
Oh, he's still back.
There you go, Coach. I thought it was something I said, maybe. But no, please.
No,
please.
not yet.
There you go. Continue, though, please.
Paul Mitchell is one of my senior guards. And then Ryan McEnany is the other player that I have returning from last year. Ryan's a small forward.
Sure.
And he's one that I think over the next couple of games we'll see him start to take off a little bit after a slow start. And then my second leading scorer is actually a freshman, Damian Fiducia. He's scoring 11 points a game. He's a good all-around player, but again, he didn't even play JV. He's skipped JV and went right to varsity, and he's playing pretty well. And then I've got a sophomore, Joe Nicosia, who's also, I think he's my third leading scorer right now, who's scoring about 6 points a game, who's a small forward / shooting guard that can do a little bit of everything too.
Now, you mentioned a lack of height. I know that really hampers you because you've got some really good shooters there, but that lack of height I know hurts against some of the bigger teams like Catskill or some kids with some size like CA. So how do you combat something like that? What style of play do you feel best suits Greenville in light of the fact that you don't have a lot of height on your team this year?
Yeah, our style of play is we're going to try to run you to death. So if those big guys at 6'6" have to go up and down the court 100 times over a course of a game, they're going to get tired. Where I've got these little guys that just like to run for days, and I can put 7 or 8 of them interchangeably at times, and we'll just hopefully wear teams out over the course of time because those the big guys, that's a lot of height and bulk to bring up and down the court that many times. So that's our game plan to adjust for the height, is to wear them out.
Now, going around the league, who are some of the teams to beat? Obviously, Hudson hasn't lost in 2 years, 2+ years. Catskill's doing really well. Cooksaki was a bit of a surprise for you guys. Who are the teams that you're looking at to really give you trouble this year?
I think you said. I think the top two would obviously be Catskill and Hudson. If you haven't lost in 2 years in the Patroon, then obviously you've got to be the team to beat until someone beats you. Right. And then Catskill, with their overall size and stuff, we'll see them tonight. It's not a great matchup for us, but I think speed-wise, and I think our depth is a little bit we're a little bit deeper than they are bench-wise, I think that maybe hopefully it'll counteract some of their size advantage. And Hudson, they just kind of reload every year. Their JV team was so strong last year, and they've got some of those young guys up. They'll be a tough matchup for us as well. But the guys have shown that they can, play with those teams too. So
now I want to bring up probably an unpleasant memory from last year, but actually it shines a good light on your team. You were so close to ending Hudson's winning streak in the Patroon Conference last year. I believe it was 85-83. You guys were up by 10 going into the fourth quarter against that Hudson team over at your place, but they came back and got you in the end. Take us through that game and just your thought processes as they were coming back on you like that.
Yeah, you would have to bring that up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll probably hang up on me now for real.
No, we played really well, and I think the turning point in that game, kind of before the game, even with Hudson sometimes in the past, Greenville's basically been defeated before the ball's even been thrown up. But sure. I think that we've kind of instilled a mindset that we can compete with anyone.
No doubt.
And when we go toe-to-toe with them for 3 quarters and have the lead, the guys were obviously believing we could beat them that night. And I know Silas Yelich, one of my best players from last year, fouled out, I think, with 5 minutes to go, and we were up 8. And that to me was the turning point in the game there.
No doubt about it. And Silas was definitely one of my favorite players too. One of those kids, a lunch pail type of kid that comes to work and plays hard from buzzer to buzzer. Yeah, I remember that he had a big game that game and did foul out with about 5 minutes left, and that was certainly a factor in the outcome of that game. But all that said, you're also the baseball coach over at Greenville. Want to give us a little dirt on how the team's going to shape up next spring?
Sure. I think we'll be pretty loaded. I returned 8 of my 9 starters and all my pitching. So whenever you can say that, I think you're in pretty good shape. And Liam Krasny and Milton Edmonds are probably 2 of the top pitchers in the Patroon.
Sure.
And they'll be returning as seniors.
And Cole's your catcher, right?
And Cole's the catcher, yeah. So it's pretty much my basketball team is my baseball team for the most part. Okay. So I think we should be pretty strong. Liam Krasny just committed to play baseball at Cortland next year, and Milton Edmonds is going to play at Endicott College in Massachusetts next year too. So that's pretty exciting for those guys in our program.
Outstanding. And I think it helps your program, too, the fact that you're playing against a lot of good competition. The Patroon, it gets a bad rap sometimes in basketball, but there's no question in baseball they can hold their own with anybody, with the Hudsons of the world, the Catskills, the Coxsackie Athens, and, of course, Greenville, Maple Hill is always good. So you got a lot of good competition there, but you guys fit right in there and are certainly one of the teams to beat next year for sure.
Yes, I agree, and I think it really gets us ready for sectionals. We went in last year as the 15 seed in sectionals and played the 2 seed, and we just wiped them out because they hadn't played anyone like Greenville and the Patroon, where we've had countless games against teams that were better than Galloway. So for us, it's going into those sectional seeding, especially in baseball, gives us a huge advantage.
No doubt.
Definitely. All right, Coach, I appreciate you calling in. And good luck to you. Good luck to Cole. Hopefully he gets that record. He's going to eventually, but hopefully he gets it soon. Hopefully at home. But thanks for calling in, and we appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, guys.
You got it, Dane. Thank you. Got to get Dane back on here, too, when he can get in that chair right over there. And bring maybe Cole with him or one of the other players. And, talk about the Spartans and not only basketball, but the baseball season.
Yeah, he's done well over at Greenville the last 2 years.
No doubt about it.
Brought those kids up.
For sure.
All right. I think that's all we have for today. We appreciate you stopping by Hudson Valley's 360's The Press Box, presented by Columbia Green Federal Credit Union.